And we're back here in the Sims cave, football cave. I'm Bill Rafferty. Onions! I had to give Bill Rafferty a shout out because he's a New Jersey guy. He's an Orange guy.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I love watching March Madness and having him announcing games.
I always think about this when I'm watching him. What did he do the night before?
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to know, but I enjoy what he does during the game
great.
for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
The most creative ways to say inappropriate things live on air. He's done a great job. Onions! Okay, so talking about a guy who has onions is
me.
Will Levis.
Oh,
you too, for sure.
Will Levis.
I'm here, so of course. But yeah, Will Levis, Kentucky quarterback, 6'4", 229 pounds. 10-inch hands, right? So big hands, big body, big and strong, athletic. Dude's built. Dude is jacked. I mean, almost borderline maybe too muscular for the position to me, honestly, in some cases.
First off, that does bother people. It's bothered some. I shouldn't say a lot.
Yeah.
But I've heard people, it's a little too muscular.
Yeah, well, let's talk through that. What is it about a super muscular quarterback that turns off some of these evaluators? In your eyes, what do you think?
Well, I think one is just maybe it's not because he's got muscles, that's for sure. They look at him and think he's maybe a little stiff, that kind of part.
Yeah.
But, that's who he is. He's a big, powerful, physical guy. Mm-hmm. And he plays that way. He can take hits. He's got a really good arm. He can throw with power. We're going to see some of that. We'll talk about that later. But, I just think, for some reason, it doesn't fit a prototype of any quarterbacks that we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm. He's truly unique to that sense. I've heard people kind of compare him and his body type to a Tim Tebow. Now, the difference is that Will Levis is a thrower. He has been put on the planet by God to throw something. All right, whether it was a spear or whatever, dude can throw for sure.
And he ran into 4.5s.
And he ran a 4.5. So he can really move. He's a good player. He's a fifth-year player as well. He transferred from Penn State.
Right.
So he got a little experience at Penn State, didn't play a ton, but 24 starts here now with Kentucky. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of starts under his belt, 636 pass attempts. And I go to the pass attempts when I describe all of these quarterbacks because, to me, attempts are important, whether you've been successful or not. And usually if you have more attempts, that means that you've had more successes than failures because you keep getting, more repetitions.
Well, as you know, why is it so important? You're saying it because you can't recreate the feeling that you get during a game, what's around you, reading routes, and just focusing. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, when I would go on the field for the first time sometimes every year during training camp, I go, is there 13 guys over there? And by the time you get to the season, midpoint, you're going, well, it looks like they got about 7 because you can see everything.
Yeah.
So that's why the attempts throwing the ball are so important to all these quarterbacks.
Yeah, and attempts in the SEC, playing against good athletic defenses. Averaged about 65, 66 completion percentage throughout his career, so he's putting the ball in play. Yeah, go ahead. What's your thought?
I'm just going to say this too. It just popped in my mind that when you judge him and you watch the tapes of Will Levis, remember, he's not at Ohio State and he's not at Alabama.
Right.
So it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, even when you turn it on and start watching, go, well, these are not the same players that we watch with these other quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
All over the field. The line, the receivers, everything. Even play selection and play design. Because you're at Kentucky, you just can't say, we're going to have all this stuff in our offense. No, you got to gear it down to what your talent level can actually execute on the field. So you got to be a little careful when you judge him compared to some of these other quarterbacks who are at powerhouse teams.
You're right. And preparing for a team like Kentucky, you know that you have to stop Will Levis. Where in the other two situations, of course, you have to stop Bryce, right? CJ, you have to stop Hendon. But I think their role players, as you were saying, really was more of a factor in preparing for them. A little bit more difficult to just zero in on one football player, and that's the difference between him and some of the others.
I think Will Levis, just as we watch all this, we'll talk about it all, but I think he actually likes the contact.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think he likes it.
He's got a little bit of a linebacker at quarterback, mentality, it looks like, to it. And I think that's also where he gets a little bit in trouble. He's a little bit of a gunslinger that way, where he just kind of he just rips it sometimes instead of making the right football decision more often than not. And that is something that hopefully with the right coaching staff, he can develop that more as he goes.
And I think we're going to see this too. I'd like to see him be a little freer with his body.
Yeah.
And not, I call it static, you know.
Well, that goes to the body type thing.
Yeah, but I think you can have muscles and still be limber.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I see a lot of people.
Well, the one thing is we haven't seen a lot. We don't have enough examples of that for us to say that, yes, that is possible.
Well, and I'm guessing about this because I never had those kind of muscles to see if I can make it work. But, you know, it's okay. But, you know, what do you want to do? You want to see some tape?
Let's watch
see
some
a few
film.
Throws?
Let's watch some film. We'll talk through some
stuff
stuff
that I saw.
technically. Yep. So here we go in Florida, the swamp. Look at that stands. It's actually one of the coolest stadiums that I've ever been to. I unfortunately never got a chance to play in the swamp, but it is an awesome atmosphere. Okay, back to the tape.
This is his favorite thing. He loves this. Here it is. We talked about it, standing on his back foot or going like kind of back. And I kind of like this because it comes in handy in the NFL. Stays back and just kind of rotates his upper body a little bit to make these somewhat I call touch throws too, Matt.
Right, and you see his upright ability here, right? He's standing nice and tall, right? You see how much weight he has on his tippy toes here, but he does a really good job of just rotating his upper body, especially his rib cage and core through the throw here, and that's why he throws a really good, accurate, soft, catchable football over the middle.
I think this is his way of being really accurate.
Yeah.
He falls back on this technique a lot as you watch all of his games at Kentucky.
And very similar to the others. I mean, this class in general, I think all of them have extremely flexible arms.
Right.
So they're all guys that really can continue to improve as throwers later in their career for sure. But really good job staying back, staying rotated. Watch how still his head and spine stay as his body rotates around that, right? Like we teach a lot of our younger QBs. Throwers are like little microcosms of like a tornado. The eye of the tornado is very still and calm, and then there's a lot of force and power being rotated around in opposite directions,
Right.
like you mentioned.
So, yeah, I'll finish it with this. Look at me.
Are you
So
going
if
to one-up me?
Yeah, no. But if you do this, if you're moving, there's no way you can move this way and rotate fast.
Right.
But like you said, when you're still, you can be really quick, creates power, and you can throw from a lot of angles because of that. But great example here. Nice touch.
Good accurate throw over the middle.
Yep. And this was a lot when I watched his tapes, a lot. And I think, like I said, I think it's his crutch, the thing he likes to do the most. Now, this is awesome. Look at this. This is one of the few. He's going to turn, he's going to get in position, and he's going to rear back and throw this one.
What I love about it, though, is that it's like as he's going through the rep, I'm not sure if I'm going to throw it, I'm not sure. Okay, now I'll throw it. So he kind of started the rotation of the turn late because he's deciding on whether or not to rip it. Decides late, is already probably overstrided maybe a little too much to where
Yes.
you would like for a quarterback, especially throwing down the field as aggressively as he has. But this is, again, when these muscles come into play, right? He just overpowers through this and throws an absolute dagger over the middle. And realistically, like in the NFL, right, if we were in a QB room, I'd be like, all right, man, hey, you're waiting too long. Just check it down right here to your running back. He's going to get probably as much or more yards in this situation.
Yeah. But you're right. This is probably his favorite throw. In other words, in cuts from both sides.
Yeah.
He throws them with tremendous power. And the ball is just, the receiver doesn't have to catch it. He has to protect himself because it's going to hit him in the chest a lot of times.
And here, I love this, right? He's probably someone that has spent a little bit more time in a traditional NFL offense as far as the way that he's been coached. A little bit more under center, more play action stuff. We see the inside zone left fake here. Really relaxed, good drop. Gets his head around really cleanly at the top of the drop, right? So watch, as soon as he steps to transition to that throw, look how he gets his chin to his shoulder immediately and looks down the field. And that's a really good teach tape right there for young QBs watching at home. Play action.
Oh,
this is really nice.
Look right and left, throw the in cut to the opposite side. Probably the most common play I saw Kentucky run and execute.
Yeah, the weird thing too is that I have seen this in the film, and I saw it at the combine too. He does drop behind
The left guard.
the left guard, and in some cases at the combine, the left tackle. So it's something that going forward in the NFL for him, he's got to learn, and it's crazy to say this, he's got to learn how to drop a little bit more straight back into the pocket, a little bit more vertical.
Well, I think a lot of it, how little they get under center sometimes. But, you see it all the time, and I see it. Learning to drop from under center or anywhere is still something you got to pay attention to get in throwing position quicker and better.
Yeah.
But, man, look at this football. It is old.
So right here, double pat, light on his feet. As I try to teach my young QBs all the time, when you're moving in the pocket and sliding, right, we want to think like our feet are like John Deere lawnmowers, right? We're just cutting the top of the grass every time. The more that we hop it up in the air, the more time, right, it is to make a decision. He does a pretty good job of keeping his feet low on the ground. But here's another thing again, right? Front foot is in the ground. His transition is probably a little bit too far forward. But look at the quick reset here, right? Oh, I wanted to throw it. He wasn't ready. Now he gets right, left, back in the ground pretty quickly and throws an absolute rocket off his back foot here.
Gets in great position to let this go. And this is what, I kind of see him. The Jalen Hurts offense you saw a little bit in Philadelphia, not a lot. But, of course, that could be what the Colts run with Shane Steichen being the new head coach there, right? They could do it, so I think he fits it well. And these kind of plays kind of illustrate that to me.
Great little reset.
Yeah. And perfect spiral.
Does a good job staying connected too, even though his front hand came out the football and double patted it. Did a really good job technically there. I like the Kentucky uniforms. They look sharp.
Yeah, they're great.
It's good.
They're great.
Good color blue.
Checkerboard.
We know where the real checkerboard comes from. All right.
Where's that?
Boy. Tennessee, baby.
You call me boy? You calling your father a boy?
That's right, boy.
Oh, here we go. Mississippi
right.
State.
Pressure here, right on the weak side. Free runners, 2 free runners in this situation.
Oh, my God.
Does a good job sliding. And this is something that, for him and really all these quarterbacks going forward in the NFL, just being able to step suddenly, like we saw in the other film with the other QBs, and just throw in awkward positions. And look again, too. I know I'm getting you dizzy with the film here.
It's all right.
Right? But watch the upper body rotation and follow through again here. Unbelievable strength as he's being ripped to the ground for his body, his upper body especially, to torque through that despite being pulled to the ground. Really good rep.
One thing you see when you watch Kentucky, you don't see the plays that you saw at Alabama, the scheme. You don't see the plays you saw from Ohio State.
Yeah.
This is a little more simpler. Again, it's talent. They played a different style. And so, it's a little tougher, I think, to judge him because of that.
Yeah, it's not quite as wide open maybe as we saw Ohio State and Alabama.
Right.
And that makes, when everything gets condensed as far as the offense, the concept, the plays and all that stuff, that makes the throwing lanes tighter, makes the decision-making process have to be even more on point, right, to have success, where you saw some of the other concepts with other QBs, way spread out offense, a lot of throwing lanes, a lot of space around. And you can already see in these pockets a little bit more condensed than some of the other that we've evaluated.
Well, here's the one other thing too, real quick, Matt, is that this is more like NFL.
Yeah.
You're not going to have space to move around all the time.
Right.
A lot of times you won't.
Right.
So he's playing a little bit of NFL football. It's going to be tough. The pockets are going to be tight, and you got to make really tough contested throws.
For sure. And we know
he loves this. This is his motion. He loves this. If you let him have freedom, he's going to kind of, I want to say, stay back and kind of go a little sidearm. How about this, right, between the 2 tackles or whatever. But the one thing when he does all this, it's powerful, spinning, and it's on target most of the time.
What I love about this rep right here, you see that his hip and foot are actually kind of going closer towards you here a little bit more, right? A little bit away, but he does a great job, like you mentioned, of dropping his arm angle slightly, so he's got a little bit more of a sidearm release here. But the more we step away from the target, the more we have to drop our arm angle slightly to create that rotation and torque. He does it very well naturally here to create just absolute spin on the football and accuracy. I mean, look at that thing. That is a howlatza. Really good throw, but you see again too just the strength and ability here to create spin and accuracy in a compromised position. Man, what a clip and what a view this is.
Yeah, it's great.
Good throw, really good, powerful throw right there.
Well, these are things that I think I think as the draft process has gone along, just watching TV, which I do a lot, and reading maybe articles and that we're not sure about what's going to happen to him. Is he going to be drafted high? Could he fall? You know, a lot of people, and it's almost universal now, has him going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think at number 19. And
Raiders, too, seems like a rumor as well.
Yeah, you told me that. You think the Raiders are in play for him. I didn't know that. I haven't heard it. So whatever. But it just kind of shows you, I think there's a lot of mixed opinions on Will Levis. How do we judge him for the pro game? What offense is he going to fit into?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for whatever reason, he has had a very turbulent perspective, I guess, as far as evaluators go. Some people love him. Some people, they're not super high on him. A lot of question marks with him. But similar with him and Anthony Richardson, you can't deny the raw talent that they have and possess. And that's what's, I think, exciting about them as far as their evaluation process goes. So, like you said earlier,
he's Nolan Ryan. You know why?
That's not a bad comp.
He loves let me just show it off here.
So here's another example of that shoulder, hip, and foot all aligned, right? Maybe a little bit overstrided, but great job of keeping his body back over that back foot as much as he can, right? You see all that pressure being built up right here into that right foot and an unbelievable follow through. This is what you said earlier about some of the other QBs, CJ Stroud especially. Watch how he gets his back, hip, and foot through the throw here, right? It's off the ground. That's how violent he is through it. And that's why he throws an absolute dagger across the middle. Look at that Kentucky crowd.
He gets his jollies off throwing power throws. That's the clearest way I could say it.
All right, well, hey, go get yourself a Jolly Rancher ad, all right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? When you can throw the fastball, do what you're best at.
That's right.
This is what he does best.
And usually people critique others who throw it like that because they can't do it.
Yeah. But you know, we've seen, I know it's a short presentation so far about him, but where are all the throws?
Over the
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the middle. That's their offense. Not a lot of outside throws when I watch. Not as many as you'd hope to see, what you're going to see in the NFL.
Right.
But watch him again. He drifts left to throw the ball.
Slightly.
A little. This is not bad, but again, just stay in there, and he's going to slightly go to his left.
And this is one that you wrote down in your notes when you were watching this. Eyes left here, right?
Yeah.
So he started the play looking slightly over here to the left. So this hook defender is staying in his zone. This backer right here over the middle is pushing to the field because they're on the left hash, so he has to push a little bit more to the field, right, than normally. So he's trying to do a good job of making sure that even though they're on the left hash, he is covering the field side of, the wide side of the field as much as he possibly can. As Will gets the snap, slight look left. As soon as he hits this back foot, he gets right back to the middle. And this is unbelievable just rhythm and timing here, throwing it right off the ear of that linebacker for a strike over the middle.
I think that's
really
one thing.
Good rep.
Yeah, it's going to serve him well. He can read one side and turn and throw all the passes to the other side.
We know he can physically.
Yeah,
right, for
but
sure.
He's good at it. It's not just that play.
Yeah.
I saw many plays with him. Here's another one. Looking right.
Yep.
Right away. Doesn't like it. It's going to flip and go to the left. And, it's a curl route this time instead of an in cut. But again, the power throw, man. Hey, we said this, and we've said it many times. Need to say it every time we do a quarterback. Power. This is a power throw.
Yeah.
If you throw it nice and smooth and soft, it might get knocked down. Power throws, 5 of them a game is just my number. I always put on 4 or 5. You know, he's going to make those throws in the NFL.
Well, the big, question mark with him sometimes is his decision making, right? As people evaluate him, he's not listed as highly of a decision maker as maybe some of the others in this process, especially CJ and Bryce. And especially because of statistically with his stats, he's thrown more interceptions than they have. So that's obviously where some of this comes into question. The thing that I love about a lot of these clips that we're showing, though, for everybody is how athletic he is with his feet. He switches, change directions, pops quickly, and then gets the football out of hand really decisively and quick.
Yeah.
And it gets from A to B very fast.
Yeah.
And this is why he's able to run for a touchdown like that.
The defender thought he was in great position. The ball got there so quick, all of a sudden what he thought was wrong
Yeah.
because the ball got there and the move was made quicker than the defender could react to. Oh, here,
Pressure.
look at this.
Now, this is a really cool rep, right?
Oh, my God.
It really is. Really cool rep. He knows that he's about to get hit, so he feels number 2 and 13 bearing down on him, right? I love that he's already starting to lean to create a little bit of a throwing angle for himself and also to absorb the hit as
Yes.
he's going. But I love just the ability, again, sidearm throw as he's being contacted, and this thing is, again, it's moving. It's moving. So you see his toughness in his pocket. You see his ability to just bear down, right, when he's getting ready to get hit and still throw an absolute strike as he's being,
He's off the ground when he throws the ball.
yeah,
And because this is protecting himself. You know, that's what he did.
really
He
good,
knew he was
strong
going to take a
throw.
big hit. Great throw. I mean,
Yeah.
that was really a great play.
Good pop-up game, too. Play action here. To the boundary. Got like a little bit of a deep cross concept. And this is one of those throws that just you can coach and teach, this kind of shit as much as you possibly want. But this is just God-given talent and strength here. He's on his back foot here, and he just launches this thing
Who was that
close
you're
to six.
imitating?
I don't know, but damn, that was a bomb from his back foot.
Yeah, it was
that
easy
was
too.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was easy.
I mean, that was so easy.
But it was a good read. The middle was open. He did the right thing.
Wait till you see the fans here
Oh.
in the end zone. One lady here in the front of the end zone is like, holy shit, look at this throw. It is unbelievable how well he threw this. And you know what? Let's go back to this point too. Right? I'll show you the fan here in a second
Yeah, I know.
because it's
Like,
pretty funny.
I couldn't watch the play.
But it's really crazy. You know how we mentioned with CJ, how he gets his back, hip, and foot through the throw to create power.
Right.
He keeps his foot on the ground. Now, if he put his back foot and hip through the air like CJ did when we went through those clips, it's unbelievable. He would throw it 15 yards further.
No question.
He would throw it 15. He'd probably kill somebody with how hard he throws it. But really good job of
running back real
rotating
quick.
through
You
it.
know, the one thing why he can't, he steps left. So when he steps left, it's going to make him be in this. See, as he steps left.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so-
you have to step left, right, if we're getting into
Yeah, I
the
understand.
weeds of it slightly, right?
yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do that in another episode.
Yeah.
But he does a great job, though, again, of just rotating through it and around, right? The back, hip, and foot go with him.
Yep.
His whole core is rotating through him. So unbelievable throw. All right.
Show
and
me
now-
the lady.
Yeah, now we'll get to the fan.
That's all I can think about.
Oh,
there she is.
shit. This is Kentucky. They shouldn't be playing this good against us. Well, they are because they had Will Levis at quarterback.
Oh, here's his favorite. Here's his favorite. Like I told you earlier, he loves this kind of play. This is what gives him touch. He has really good accuracy throwing like this, kind of staying back. He's actually leaning back
Yeah.
to kind of throw the football in the air, which
Yeah.
really makes it easy to have this kind of touch and these type of throws.
Yeah, he has great posture, right? And you see again just how vertical he is all the time.
Right.
And loaded on his back foot. And that is part of the reason why he is able to create so much torque and rotation through the throw. But really good job of being smooth through the throw. A mistake that a lot of young QBs make when they're trying to throw, right, with touch is they baby it at the last second.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job of continuing at the same pace and following through really gracefully here.
Yeah, let it go. And you know what this also shows everybody?
Let
We
it
talked
go.
about maybe he's a little stiff and all these things.
Yeah.
Well, does it show any of these things?
We haven't
No.
really seen much of it, no.
He's limber and flexible to make these throws off balance, in the air, whatever you want to say.
But look at this. Flick of the wrist over the shoulder, dime.
That was beauty. That was a beauty.
Do you like those all black Tennessee uniforms?
I hate 'em.
Okay. I'm glad.
Just-
Good debate.
But yeah, that's all I can say. You heard me say that earlier. Well, somewhere. I just don't get it. Tennessee's orange, but go ahead. Nice throw.
Beautiful throw. Far hash throw again, backed up in the end zone.
Yeah. Left hash, right sideline.
Really just beautiful footwork here.
Yeah, this is
nice
really-
little shuffle. This is something, too, that we teach a lot, right?
Yep.
No crossover needed. Just shuffle and skip back. The skip drop is for real. It really does help you throw the ball accurately and get into a better throwing position faster. Great skip drop. Pops off that back foot. You see him get underneath again, that back foot underneath him.
Yeah.
Good turn.
Look how far his left shoulder has moved. And
Yeah.
he looked again. He looked down the middle. He knew he was going outside.
Yeah, he knew he was
So he
going
looked
there.
down the middle just to make sure to give the safety. Can't get over there in case my guy catches it and tackle him right away. So that's a good job, which we've talked about. He does that a lot.
Really good throw.
Nice catch.
Yep,
Good
great
throw.
catch.
No defense to the back shoulder throw down the sideline. Hard to overcome that if you're a defensive back.
And something that I think he will continue to get better and better at the next level.
There's that guy.
Little
from
red
Georgia,
zone.
Alabama. Who is this?
Here we go. Same thing
yes,
again
yes.
here. Little back shoulder fade. Like the little skip drop again. Just kind of shuffling, buying time.
Wow, that's-
Good accurate throw to the back shoulder again there. Very, very good throw. Good clean look there.
Yeah, a lot of quarterback coaches, as we talked about, oh, you can't do that. You got to cross over. No, it's great. Good rhythm, throwing time.
So these are like the other impressive throws. So he's backpedaling. He's got pressure. He's backpedaling, continuing to move. Steps and turns in rhythm. Beautiful touch throw over the shoulder here versus man coverage.
Run it back. He knows there's going to be a free blitzer.
Yeah.
So that's what's great. He feels
Right.
it, been taught well enough to know. So he's trying to move left to give himself just that extra half a second to throw the ball. Might have moved too much because he brings that
Yeah.
defensive end into play. But once again, staying tall, like you say.
Yep.
And he has great touch making these type of throws.
Yeah, good job following through patiently, right? He knows he's about to get hit, but does a good job of finishing through the throw like a great three-point shooter, even when it's contested. Really good play here. And just giving his guy an opportunity.
And again, these throws happen all the time in the NFL.
Yeah, they do.
So
they do.
he's not going
And
to have to learn it.
This is where you can see him excelling in that field for sure. In one-on-one situations, just giving his guys opportunities to win and catch the ball. And this is just like ridiculous. Now, this is like Aaron Rodgers type of esque throw. Slides to the left, and now not even really going to get his whole body through it. Just going to kind of, again, drop his arm angle, throw it borderline sidearm, but a lot of power right through his core, right? The whole trunk of his body to throw this violently through the throw and accurately.
Well, there's no denying he's big, really strong, to say the least, and tough. I think his toughness, you can underrate toughness too, because you know how games mentally and physically can be rough and tough in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that with him.
Good touch throw again, 50-50 football here, one-on-one coverage. Does a good job throwing it soft and high. Skip drop again, right, when we're going. A little left, right, plant, turn, and throw. Great catch, too. Good finish. Very good play.
Yep, very nice.
All right, bottle it up for me. What do you think about Will?
Man, I think it's all over the place. He could go. I do. Because a lot of what we're seeing and we talk about, the throwing, his decision making, whatever you want to say with all that.
Yeah.
I think it's got a lot of teams trying to figure out where to put him.
Okay.
And it would not surprise me to see him fall.
Okay.
It won't surprise me to see him really pick tie. So, I mean, I think it's really a wide range right there. What would I do if I was, hey, look, I don't know. It's hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I would take him in the top 10 for sure. I don't get to meet him. I don't get to see him on a board. What do you know about football?
Yeah, we know that, all right. But, yeah.
All that. But I'm just saying, I don't know. And I think that's
All
a
right,
really
if you're the Raiders, are you drafting him?
what pick are they?
They're number 10, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah,
We should
10
know.
or 11. I should know that. I should prepare more next time. I'm the host. They're 11. They're 11. Excuse me.
11?
Thank you, Steve Cohen. You the man.
I knew somebody
They're
answer all the
11.
time.
So,
Get their phone.
yeah, if you're pick 11, are you taking Will Levis at number 11?
I think if you get him at 11, yes, I would take him.
Wow. Okay.
I would take him.
All right. Yeah. And one thing we didn't really show enough of.
I don't
here,
think he's going to go in the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you with that. The thing that he potentially has more to him that Woody showed, he does run the ball well. He's athletic. So it's something that I think in his young career, teams can definitely take advantage of. His athleticism, getting him out of the pocket, allowing him to be a runner,
Right.
RPO game, potential quarterback design runs early on, like we've seen so many other young quarterbacks do as they enter the league more recently. So it's definitely something that they could take advantage of.
Well,
with
we
him.
didn't show any option reads or whatever.
No.
The give and go, we didn't see that. And I don't think Kentucky did it much. I can't
Not
even,
a ton, no.
Not a lot. So that'll be something. No matter where he goes, they're going to put that in.
Right.
Because it's just another way to give the quarterback experience with easy plays.
Another way to incorporate them, to get them in the game, just to get them.
And to take advantage of his talent.
Right.
I mean,
right.
my gosh, if he goes to the Colts, we saw Shane Steichen with Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Why couldn't you do the same thing for him? Because he's coming out of college a better thrower and passer than Jalen Hurts was. And is he as big and, running type as good as Jalen Hurts? I don't think so, but it's close. So he could fit into an offense that is designed like that.
Definitely. Well, that was Will Levis. Up next, we're going to do Anthony Richardson.
Oh, my gosh.
Another polarizing candidate here in this evaluation process, but nonetheless, just like Will, an exciting football player with a ton of upside. And we'll get into Anthony Richardson here next.
Yeah.